You're listening to the Higher Attitudes Podcast. Inspiration to lift your soul. Tom here again. Recently, after several weeks of travel, I exited the light rail train and entered literally the world's busiest airport to catch my flight home. Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport has been the world's busiest airport every year since the year 2000. I was looking forward to getting home, but not looking forward to dealing with the often long security lines, packed terminal trains, and crowded concourses. As I got in line for security, I wasn't thinking about how I felt. I usually felt reasonably happy, but this time I was more exhausted than anything. When my turn came to step up to the TSA, or Transportation Security Administration agent, to have my boarding pass and identification checked, I must have been happier than I thought. The agent looked up and saw me smiling. She said, "That is the nicest smile I've seen all day. Thank you, I needed that." I said something profound like, "Well, smiles are free. We might as well take advantage of them." She smiled again, I smiled, and pushed on to the dreaded bag, shoe, and x-ray check. But I did so with a new awareness of my own smile, and I made the conscious choice to keep it going. Yep, my bag got pulled for a hand inspection. As I often fly with an assortment of electronic gadgets, this time the security folks thought my Audio-Technica condenser mic looked like a gun barrel in the x-ray picture. Ah, the price of being a podcaster. The agent that inspected my bag must have seen my smile and knew that I was not going to be angry about the delay. We joked about the microphone and wished each other a good day, and yes, the train to the D concourse was crowded, and the concourse itself was packed. With an hour to wait, there were no seats to be had at my gate. Oh well, nothing to give away my happiness for. Now, I tell you this story because for me, it is a big change. You see, I'm a natural worrier. At times, I'll glance at myself in the mirror and see my face furrowed in concentration, looking anything but happy and relaxed. But that day in the Atlanta airport, something was different. The truth is that I've changed, and I'm glad to say it's for the better. ABC News anchor Dan Harris said that happiness is a skill. This statement from Harris came after his own embarrassing meltdown on national television. In his memoir on happiness, entitled 10% Happier, Harris goes into great detail about how he learned some of his lessons. Well, I agree with Dan Harris. Happiness is a skill. You might even call it a discipline. Now, I know that discipline doesn't sound like a very happy word sometimes. It makes us think of mile runs and push-ups and having to give up brownies. But discipline is also the root of the word disciple. When we decide to follow a path, we must do what it takes to stay on that path moving forward instead of going backwards or sitting on a rock next to the path. This is the art of discipline, moving steadily forward. And that's why I've called this episode Disciples of Happiness. If we want to be happy, we need to recognize that there is a path that leads to that goal, and that this path also offers much happiness along the way. But we still need to get on the path and take a few steps forward each day. That's the discipline part. That's not so bad, now is it? It just so happens that discipleship to Jesus Christ leads to the same kind of happy that discipleship to happiness leads to. In fact, it is the very same path. Happiness is an appropriate way of thinking about the Savior of mankind. But what about Isaiah 53:3, where Jesus Christ is referred to as a man of sorrows? Surely he suffered more than a mortal man or woman can understand. But Jesus was not a man of unhappiness. He experienced grief and pain and sorrow, but his beauty lies in the fact that he rose above all of this. Jesus, in fact, is the man of happiness. How do I know this? I know because I have prayed about my own sorrows and sins and grief. And in every inspiration that has been my blessing to receive, I have felt happy. His forgiveness gladdens my soul. His encouragement brightens my gloomiest days. I know where to turn for peace. He works to make me happy. That doesn't sound like a man of sorrows to me. I understand what the great prophet Isaiah was saying. I am humbled by the thought of what the Christ, the Son of God named Jesus, did for me and continues to do for me, the sorrows he suffered on my behalf. But I think, even in the moments when his face was racked with pain, he was happy inside knowing that the work he was doing would become the source of human happiness. His ability to take joy in serving me and suffering for me is the source of my smile. Over the past number of years, I've spent a lot of time pursuing this path of happiness. I have become a disciple of happiness, which has made me, perhaps, a better disciple of Jesus Christ. It has taken effort on my part, but I take no credit. It has been a pleasurable sort of work. Working to be happy isn't a sad job, you see. It can't be by its very nature. That is the beauty of it. Let us all become disciples of happiness as we follow the man of happiness. Let us read about happiness, learn the principles of happiness. Let us practice happiness. Let us fail even at being happy. And then recognize that infinite opportunities to change our sorrows for happiness lie before us. I promise that after you practice for a while, you'll be smiling when you don't even think you were smiling. And you'll change the world, one beaming, toothy grin after another. Thank you for listening. We'd love to have you join us on Facebook at facebook.com/higherattitudes. Do you have an uplifting thought to share? Why not join our Facebook discussion group? Visit the group at facebook.com/groups/higherattitudes to request membership. If you'd like to leave a question about a challenge you're facing, or if you'd like to share a thought about how you've overcome negativity, call 719-301-0303 and record your question or comment. Please note that carrier rates may apply. Again, call 719-301-0303 to leave a question or comment. We hope you've enjoyed the show, and we look forward to you joining us for the next episode of the Higher Attitudes podcast. Please remember that the advice offered in this show is intended for informational purposes only. Please read our full disclaimer in the show notes.